All right, I think we're live. Yeah, let me know if you guys have any audio or anything going on right now. Colt 48, Jackson Thomas, Tyler Burbeck, Ethan, welcome to the stream, everybody. So it's saying I'm not live on my laptop, but I think we are live. So yeah, again, if you can hear me, comment down below. But thanks for everybody tuning in here tonight if you can. And if the audio is still running A-OK, which I believe it is.
What that means is
Joshua White, welcome to the stream also. Alright, we got audio. Awesome. Okay, so we're about to get ready for qualifying here today. First of two races for a Pocono doubleheader. We'll run the Truck Series race and then the Cup Series race immediately after. So, without further ado, we're going to hop on into this thing. Just 60 laps in this truck race. It is not going to be a very long one, I'll tell you that much. To wait and see of what might be able to come. We are using the steering wheel in the truck race. In the Xfinity race, we will be using the controllers and switching things up between both races there. So one lap for Matt Crafton to try and set his quick time. Saw a thriller last night in the Xfinity Series race at Chicagoland. For those of you that watched that one, that was probably one of the better finishes on the channel. A wild one. We'll see what this first day of our Pocono doubleheader will bring. Our Pocono doubleheader for the Cup Series will be tomorrow. Both races will be tomorrow afternoon. That'll be a lot of fun as well. 60 lap sprint in this race. 15 laps in stage 1, 15 in stage 2, and 30 in the final stage for this Truck Series race. How loose Crafton is in turn 2. He's driving that truck very hard. Get the rotation there. Couldn't quite stick it all the way to the bottom there through the curbing. Low exit to the exit of turn 3, I should say, to the start-finish line. 56.085. Crafton will qualify 18th for today's race. 53.823 is the pole time. And Grant Enfinger will be on the pole here today at Pocono. Weird sound.
it's possible to fix it. What that means.
Yeah, I'm not able, I'm able to get it on my phone, but for whatever reason, it's just not showing up on the YouTube studio on my laptop. I don't have any picture or sound, so I'm basically going off my phone to see if the stream's actually running or not still. It's a good thing my phone's got enough battery. Weird sound when I race. It's interesting. So Grant Enfinger. Throttle's a little weird. Huh. I'll try to get to the bottom of it in between streams then. Luckily it's only a 60 lapper. This is a very short race. Shortest race of the Truck Series season as far as laps are concerned. And the green flag is in the air. We are underway at Pocono. 15 laps in stage 1. You've got to go. Can't waste any time. And look at Crafton making passes 3 wide initially on the start. Despite starting on the top lane. Quickly got down to the bottom. Oh, overruns the corner a little bit. Contact with Zane Smith. Smith gets a little sideways. Makes a great save. Tyler Hill almost capitalized on both of them. John Hunter Nemechek trying to get through on the top. Jennifer Joe Cobb now holding up Zane Smith. Crafton to the inside of Cobb and it'll tunnel to him. Smith shoots to the outside. John Hunter Nemechek going to try to follow him. Cobb kind of pulled down right in front of Crafton. See if Crafton can stick turn 3 here. No practice, just that 1 lap of qualifying. Crafton will get by Cobb through turn 3. Quickly up to 14th. 1 lap complete. Grant Entfinger will lead lap 1 from the pole here at Pocono. The throttle's out of sync. Yeah, that's really weird. Enfinger's going to be able to hold on to the lead off of turn 3. He's got 2 trucks battling for second right on his back bumper. After trying to get through the field here as we get closer and closer to the end of the regular season in the Truck Series. Just a few more races to go. Last 3 Truck Series races before the playoffs will be Kentucky, Eldora, and Michigan. Crafton washes up the track in turn 3. Ankrum pulls him. Crafton through the first 2 corners of the lap was really starting to catch up to Ankrum. He lost so much ground in turn 3. Any ground he made up in turns 1 and 2 was immediately lost. Huge pack of trucks battling for the lead right now. You got about 4 of them under a blanket. Great battle. Everybody trying to fight for that playoff point, knowing that there isn't much time in this race. Qualifying means so much. Crafton qualifying mid-pack obviously didn't help him. He's been stuck right around 13th or 14th the first handful of laps already. Trying to stick turn 3 on this very uniquely shaped racetrack. Crafted down to the bottom now. Underneath the Ankrum. Fastest lap of the early going of the race for Crafton. He'll pull up and clear Ankrum down the Long Pond straightaway. Got Austin Hill in the 16 truck not too far out ahead of him. Big closing rate into turn 1. Crafton trying to make the pass on Hill into turn 2. Oh man, all the way to the apron. Look at how loose he got as he slides back up the track. Keeps it off the 16 truck. Ankrum trying to fight back, and now we have a caution. So caution's out already on lap 5. First caution of the race. Might see some split strategy back there. Gustine is the only driver hitting pit road in last place at the rear of the field. Might as well pit. Enfinger's going to stay out here. He's led every lap so far. So we're going to have even less laps to go when we go green now. Crafton's going to be on the outside once again. He'll be in 12th place. He was side by side with Austin Hill. He couldn't get the nose out in front to restart on that inside line, the preferred line. So we'll see how this is going to go. Green flag back in the air. Even later now in this opening stage, just 7 laps to go. Huge restart again. Crafton gets to the bottom so quickly. And he's going to take it 3 wide into turn 1. Underneath Sheldon Creed, Zane Smith. Trying to roll it in there. A little contact perhaps between the 88 and the 2. Underneath now, nope, not quite. Tanner Gray. After the contact between Crafton and Sheldon Creed. Gray looked like he might have been going to the bottom of the track, couldn't quite do it. Crafton trying to hang on to his truck. Oh man, barely skims the wall. That allows Ben Rhodes to get underneath him. Zane Smith now trying to follow Rhodes. Crafton's got to try the outside into turn 3. Maybe a little better exit to the corner now, and here he comes. Right back at him again. 6 laps to go at the line around this 2.5-mile racetrack. And they are 3 wide. Smith backs out of the gas. He didn't want to go into turn 1 3 wide. Crafton is hard on the brakes into turn 1, trying to get underneath the 38 of Gilliland. Enfinger still in the lead. Johnny Sauter right behind him. Draft is such a huge factor here at Pocono with these long straightaways. Sauter looking for the lead on his teammate. Friesen also just behind both of them. Crafton up to 4th place. Track position is the name of the game here at Pocono. Doesn't matter what series you're racing here. We're going to have just 5 laps to go in stage 1 at the line. Friesen goes a little wide in turn 1. Crafton couldn't quite get underneath him though, and Sauter's still stuck behind the 98. Enfinger's hitting his marks right now. It's making it hard for Johnny Sauter even to get to that rear corner panel. Big run there. Sauter had to back out of the gas, and Crafton's able to get underneath Sauter for second. Big run on the outside. Crafton had to lift now. On the inside, contact with Friesen. That got tight off of turn 2. And that's going to allow Enfinger to hold on to the lead. Now Friesen to the inside of Johnny Sauter for second place off of turn 3. They'll be side by side now behind Enfinger down the Long Pond straightaway. Friesen trying to side trap Sauter on the outside. Crafton is trying to take the run on the inside. And they're going to be 3 wide as they go off into turn 1. This is going to be close. Crafton trying to roll the bottom. Friesen trying to stay alongside the 13. Ducks in line behind him. Crafton goes up now to side draft Sauter as he has cleared Friesen again. And into the tunnel turn. Crafton clears Sauter. Big run on the inside by Friesen. Friesen got around Sauter and Crafton. Crafton trying to hold him back. Sauter jumps to the outside of Crafton now as these trucks battling for second place is allowing Enfinger to hold the lead. Crafton to the outside of Enfinger, or Friesen rather now. 3 to go for Enfinger. And Crafton's got a big run now on the 98. Down into turn number 1, Matt Crafton to the lead. Nope, not quite. Big run on the outside by Grant Enfinger. He's hanging in there. Oh, a little contact between the Thor Motorsport teammates, and here comes Friesen on the bottom. Crafton blocks him off. And now looking low of the 98 into the tunnel turn. Yes, okay, welcome to the stream. Friesen again to the inside of Crafton. Time is running out for these guys. A great battle to the end of stage 1. Crafton trying to hold the top, trying to stay on that right rear quarter panel of Friesen. Not let him go, but Friesen is now clear. Crafton tries to cross him over. 2 to go. Enfingers let them all. And stage 1, but not by a lot. Crafton comes back up the track again. You can see the 88's got a lot of straightaway speed.
You got room, you're clear then.
He's lacking in the corners though. And now he'll clear Enfinger through turn 1. He's got the lead. Friesen trying to get up to second place. They're still side. Friesen now is up to second. He has cleared Enfinger. Sauter right in line behind the 98. Crafton's going to lead his first lap of the race at the line. White flag will be in the air in stage 1. So one more lap to go in the opening stage.
White flag, bring it home.
Crafton pulls away down into turn 1. Does Friesen have anything for him? Crafton kind of walks away on the final lap. And Crafton will win stage 1 after all from the 18th starting position. And have that first playoff point of the day. So finishing order in stage 1 will be Crafton, Friesen, Enfinger, Sauter, Gilliland, the top 5, followed by Zane Smith in 6th, Chastain 7th, Ben Rhodes 8th, Tanner Gray 9th, and Sheldon Creed rounds out the top 10. So track position, name of the game here in this one. Looks like everybody's going to stay out of the pits. Natalie Decker was the cause of the first caution of the race. She is already out. Looks like Ryun, Greenfield, and Fogelman will be hitting pit road. Dean hit pit road under the first caution at lap 5. Those guys will have a little fresher tires, but they'll be coming all the way from the back. That's a lot of cars to pass. Again, these stages very short here at Pocono today. It's only a 60-lap race. We'll have another 15 laps here in stage 2, but by the time we go green, we're only going to have 12 to go. So here we go, green flag back in the air. And the second stage is underway. Good launch through the gears there by Crafton. He's got the clean air. We'll have to see what that will do. Crafton's already about a second ahead. They were going 3 wide into turn 1 back there. Friesen. Oh, Crafton got back in the gas way too soon in turn 3. Washes way up the racetrack. That's going to cost him a ton of time. Down the Long Pond straightaway. That is the worst of the 3 corners to miss on the track if you want to still have that straightaway speed. Down the longest straightaway in NASCAR. Crafton dives it off into turn 1. Trying to keep that momentum up. Renfinger led all but the last 2 laps in the opening stage of the race, so we'll have to see how he'll do stage by stage by stage. Now the good news is, though, is everybody's on the same older tires. I think that's going to help Crafton out quite a bit. It's not like everybody is on fresh tires where you might see Crafton on a short run start to go backwards. but none of the top 25 hit pit road during the stage break. Works out pretty well for Crafton. Already 10 laps left in stage 2. Again, doubleheader today. We'll be running the Xfinity Series race at Pocono. And the next one is Crafton really missed the bottom of the track there. Ran that middle to upper lane in turn 1. Not exactly what he wanted to do. About 55 to 56 seconds to get around this racetrack of the Truck Series. Very, very long laps. Gonna alternate to the different camera angles for the first time today. 8 laps to go now in stage 2. We had 1 caution in stage 1. Again, that was on lap 5 in this race. Didn't take long for that first caution. Crafton's hoping they stay green through this one. He doesn't want to restart. Restart's very crazy at this racetrack with how wide it is down these straightaways, especially the Long Pond straightaway. They fan out going into turn 1. Everybody tries to bunch back together by the time they get into the corner, because the corner's too tight to take cars 3-4 wide. Really only a one groove racetrack. With how short the stages are today, you're likely not going to see any lap traffic. Maybe in the final stage with it being 30 laps, but even then, I mean, we're not going to have probably more than a dozen laps worth of lap traffic, even if the final stage goes caution-free. It might just be a one pit stop kind of a day for most of these guys. Definitely going to see some pit stops at the end of stage 2. Those might be the final ones of the day. I believe they can make it on fuel the rest of the way with just one more stop. Don't know what the tire wear is going to be like in the final stage as well, knowing that we're not having any long green flag runs with the short first 2 stages of the race. Diamond Jeff, welcome to the stream. Oh, man. Crafton back into the gas too soon in turn 1. That was kind of what he did in turn 3 at the beginning of the stage on that opening lap. Stuart Friesen's really pulled away from third place rather, of Grant Enfinger. Enfinger's held on. Only Enfinger and Crafton have led laps today. Enfinger led the first 13. Crafton's led every lap since. Maybe Thor Motorsports as a team might be able to lead every lap. This one, Johnny Soto was in second place for a while. He's dropped back to 5th. Ran Granted, obviously that was back in stage 1. 5 laps to go in stage 2. I mean, he's getting the race truck to stick pretty well, though. Even that middle to upper lane, he's sticking really well. I thought he's trying to run up there. Maybe the truck just doesn't get all the way to the bottom of the track. He's not slowing it up enough to get to the bottom of the track. But he's getting it to work about as best as he possibly can. Yeah, it's a pretty quick race, only 60 laps in length. This is the full race. Again, it's only a 150 miler for the truck series here. I believe it's the same length that ARCA races here. I think ARCA only races 60 laps also. Very much a sprint of a race, that is for sure. Have to have a lot of good short run speed here. Second advantage. And everybody will take fresh tires. Take their first pit stop of the day at the end of stage 2. Just 3 laps to go in stage 2. Crafton's pretty much got this stage locked up right now. Caution were to fly, we would have a restart in this stage. It would be in the final stage. So if we get to the end of this stage in regulation, these guys would only have to run 27 green flag laps by the time they go green to start the final stage. And again, they should be able to make it on fuel that far. 27 laps is not a far stretch at all. Take out the caution laps in stage 1 and then the caution laps after, or I should say during the stage break. Stage 1, these guys had to run about 23 laps under green. Not pushing it too hard right now either. He's got a huge lead. No need to force the issue with 2 to go in the stage.
Keep it going.
Go back to the normal camera here to the end of stage 2. Oh, man. On the brakes late there, kind of got back into the gas again too early in turn 1. White flag, 1 more lap to go in stage 2. You can really see on the track map how spread apart everybody is right now as well. Have to use a lot more brakes in turn 1. Actually worked out perfectly too. About as good as he's hit the apex all stage long. Friesen's got a commanding lead over 3rd place in 2nd, so he should be able to finish 2nd in stage 2 as well. He's able to finish 2nd in stage 1 also. Enfinger finished 3rd in stage 1, trying to hold off Zane Smith to finish 3rd in stage 2 for himself as well. Green-white checkered flag in the air again. Matt Crafton wins both stage 1 and stage 2 here at Pocono. Yep, doubleheader is still on for Pocono. We'll run the Xfinity Series after this one, about 10-15 minutes after the conclusion of this one. No, I'm letting off and actually getting on the brakes. Yeah, you can't. Gotta let out of the gas here on this racetrack. Especially in turn one of the more dangerous corners in NASCAR. Seen some bad accidents there, especially in recent memory. Bubba Wallace, Jimmy Johnson having brake failures. Jimmy McMurray hit that wall hard too that day, Johnson did. No adjustments, 4 fresh tires and a full tank of fuel to get them to the end of the race likely. These will be the first and only pit stops of the race. We'll see if we get another caution if anybody else tries to make it to pit road. The 88 team will win the race off pit road. And here we go. Green flag back in the air. Third and final stage is underway. There's 27 laps left to decide the winner at Pocono. Will this be the final restart? And for fuel, these guys are about 4.5 to 5 laps to the good on fuel. So as long as we don't go to a couple overtimes, they should have enough. Tire wear hasn't seemed like it's been that bad today, so they should be good to the finish too. But if we did have to pit for tires for a random reason or decided to pit later to kind of break the strategy, oh man, that was a close call. Into the tunnel, turn 2, and Friesen gets to the inside. A little contact. Crafton got loose off of turn 2. Enfinger tries to give him a shot. Nowhere to go with it. Enfinger now to the outside. There's contact up there. And Crafton's starting to drop like a rock on the restart. Push now from his teammate Johnny Sauter down the Long Pond straightaway. Big run up the middle between both Chastain and Enfinger. How about Zane Smith maybe going for the lead on Stuart Friesen? Crafton has jumped back up to third. Not for much longer, Johnny Sauter with a bold move to get up to third himself. And Enfinger's now moving backwards. Gillen took him 3 wide off of turn 1. He pulls up and clears the 98 behind, and now he's side by side with Chastain. And Zane Smith still trying to go for the lead on Friesen. There's still 3 wide back there. Enfinger now makes a move. Couldn't clear Chastain. Look at Enfinger going all the way down the track, trying to keep the draft of the 88 of Crafton. Crafton went low to try and break the draft. Enfinger went down low to follow it. Help himself trying to get around Chastain, making sure the 40 truck didn't try to side draft him as well. Friesen's still trying to hang on to the lead. Crafton is in the wall off of turn 1. And Enfinger will easily take the 4th position now. Zane Smith still in 2nd. He hasn't gotten around Friesen yet. Big run through turn 2 there by Crafton. Maybe overran the corner. In the wall. Contact. Chastain goes around. Back in for the pack. The 18 goes around. The 38 goes around. Damage on the 99. And Crafton somehow avoided a couple cars spinning back and forth across the track. A huge pileup off of turn number 2. About 5 trucks involved. And the caution will fly with just 25 laps to go. Our 2nd caution for incident on the day. Luckily, not much damage on the 88, but that did not look pretty. Everybody just tried to scatter and make it through there. Some heavy contact, though, mainly to the 99, the 38, and the 18 hit hard. Just the 2nd caution for incident today, and we'll go green again, and Chastain spins the tires with the damage. Nowhere to go. Crafton had to wait to the line before he jumped out of line, and did a big move there. Quickly got to the bottom of the track. Look at the restart. The 38 with the block. And look at Todd Gilliland make a move 3 wide into turn 1. Crafton kind of stuffed it in there as well. Here comes Sheldon Creed on the bottom. Little door check. Todd Gilliland went from about 6th place to 2nd on the restart. That was unbelievable. And Gilliland is now going for the lead on Stuart Friesen. Enfinger going to give his teammate Crafton a shot now off of turn 2. Enfinger gets the pole on the outside. Truck coming on the bottom, and that's Sheldon Creed once again in the 2. Billy Kramer, welcome to the stream. These guys are racing for the win at Pocono. 98 wiggle a little bit, getting into turn 1. That allows Crafton to pull up and clear. Big run on the bottom there by Ross Chastain. I think he got in the back of the 88. And that really stalled out the momentum of the 40. And they are 3 wide now as Ben Rhodes trying to get the run off the outside and squeeze past the 2 on the inside of him. Rhodes all over the back of the 88 truck now off of turn 2. Johnny Sutter jumps up past Zane Smith for 3rd, now going after Gilliland for 2nd. So hard to pass that driver with the clean air out in front. We've seen that all day long. And Stuart Friesen is that guy right now with that clean air advantage. Crafton with a block on Rhodes down the long Platte straightaway. 19 laps to go at Pocono. Crafton trying to break the draft on Rhodes to the bottom. Rhodes trying to stay in the draft. Rhodes drove it in a lot deeper than Crafton. Crafton backed up turn 2 really well. But Rhodes was still able to keep the momentum down on the bottom of the track despite the fact that he drove it in a lot deeper. Side by side for 2nd. That has allowed Friesen to pull away slightly. Sauter will clear the 38 truck now for 2nd place. Crafton going all the way to the bottom, trying to break the draft on the 99 as Rhodes did not go down there to try and stay in the draft like he did a couple straightaways ago. Now Zane Smith gets underneath the 38 of Gilliland. Gilliland had a good restart. He hasn't really been in the top 3 all day, and he's got heavy damage. I don't know how he's willing that truck to run as fast as he is right now. But he is got his heart on his sleeve trying to get that first win of the season and get himself in the playoffs. Again, we have just 3 races until the playoffs for the Truck Series after the conclusion of this race. Crafton kind of missed turn 3 there. He's going to lose a little bit of ground. Sauter is slowly reeling in. Stuart Friesen right now for the lead. We're going to alternate through the different camera angles one final time in the race today. 17 laps left now at the line. Big run there by Crafton in the back of the 38. He goes low into turn 1. Hard on the brakes. And Gilliland beats him back to the gas. And again, Crafton to the inside, using the draft to his advantage down these long straightaways. Crafton's there. Tough to go into the tunnel turn side by side. Of all 3 turns on this racetrack, the tunnel turn and turn 2 is probably the hardest to run side by side. And it's a little easier once they took the curbing out of there and put the apron in. Oh wow, Crafton really overdrove turn 3. Loses more ground. Here comes Rhodes. Oh, they're 3 wide underneath him. Chastain got around both the 99 and the 88. I think Rhodes had to lift to try and keep it off Crafton as well. Sauter all over the back of the 52 truck. He keeps looking low on corner exit. But again, once he pulls out a line, loses the draft, loses. I mean, there's just a huge air defect there. Let's just say that much. Chastain had pretty big damage from that last accident. You can see it all over his back bumper, the left rear. Somebody ran into him from behind. But he is willing that truck to try and get a top 5. Crafton trying to run him up the track a little bit. Not trying to make contact with him. Just trying to side draft him a little bit. Didn't work that time. So makes a move into turn 1 again. But out drive 40 that time. He's going to clear him. Chastain coming. Big run in the draft, Crafton all the way down low, trying to break that draft. Sauter keeps looking to the inside down corner entrance, and Stuart Friesen just keeps blocking him off. Crafton rubs up against the wall off the turn 2, breaking a little bit of his lap time down. And Johnny Sauter is there. They are side by side for the lead. Sauter to the inside of Friesen. With not many laps remaining. 14. Crafton's got a big run in the draft there of Gilliland going into turn 1. Huge momentum. Now he's all over the back of the 38. Sauter clears Friesen off of turn 1. And Johnny Sauter is in the lead for the first time today. Crafton clears the 38 of Gilliland before they get into turn 2. That was the perfect time to clear him. Now has his eyes set on third place for Zane Smith in the 21, the GMS. The only GMS truck inside the top 5. He's been in the top 5 for most of the day. Crafton big run going off into turn 1. Drove it in deep. Friesen's not letting Johnny Sauter get away. He's still all over the back bumper of the number 13 truck. Crafton out for third. Underneath Zane Smith. Smith beats him back to the gas. Kind of pinched the 88 down there in the corner. Crafton couldn't get back to the gas as soon as he wanted. And with that being the tighter of the 3 corners on the track, that didn't help. Crafton drove it in so deep through turn 3 that time. A little too deep. Had to check up on corner exit. Maybe pushing the race truck just a little too hard. But it is go time. 12 to go. Man, he lost about 6 or 7 truck lengths there down the Long Pond straightaway. Not be able to get back into the gas as soon as Zane Smith. I mean, Crafton's probably rolling into the corners a lot harder now than I think he has all race long. That's how deep that corner entry is. Definitely likes going to the apron in turn 2 when he can. There is grip down there. A lot more than I think the curbing had when the curbing was in turn 2. There was curbing down in turn 1. They put apron there too, but can't really stick it like you can in turn 2. I think turn 2 not being as fast of a corner kind of helps. Versus turn 1 is one of the faster corner entries in NASCAR. I don't think we're going to have a single lap truck this whole race. Haven't had one up to this point with the short stages and the short green flag runs. That's insane to think about. Look at how quick Crafton is coming all the way up to second before he even gets into turn 2. He was able to clear Stuart Friesen. Sauter, who has only led the last 3 laps. There's only 3 laps he's led today. And Crafton, who won stage 1 and 2, now going to try to go for the lead. Harder to pass that truck with the clean air, though. 10 to go at the line. Sauter leads. Crafton right there. On his door, side by side. He had to run. He's going to clear them before it even gets into turn 1. And Matt Crafton is out in front. Only the second different time today, assuming he can lead back to the start-finish line. It'll be an official lead change there. Goes low, trying to break the draft. Now the question is, will we stay green to the end of the race? Saw a couple late race cautions in the Xfinity Series race at Chicagoland yesterday. Do we see anything here? Back out in front. Took him a little bit to get there, but he's gotten there. There's no looking back as long as this thing stays green. Again, don't forget, Xfinity Series race is coming up next. Doubleheader Friday on the channel. That race will also be at Pocono. Using the steering wheel for this race, we'll be using the controller for the Xfinity Series race. If you're watching, not subscribed already, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Do these full race live streams with realistic broadcast on the daily as I start my young broadcasting career, so help me out on that journey. So hopefully one day I can live my dream of broadcasting real races in the NASCAR realm. A 3-second lead for Matt Crafton over Johnny Sauter. Friesen is still close to Sauter. Even though those two passed one another already. Back and forth a couple times. Neither one has really been able to pull away from the other. Oh, Crafton in the wall off of turn 2! And around he goes! Into the wall! And the caution will fly. He got very, very lucky that he didn't get more damage out of that than what he did. That car was pointed completely back to the outside wall after he had hit it. And luckily, he very lightly tapped it with the driver's side of the race truck. He's still going to have the lead at the timing of the caution. That was a dangerous spot to be sitting, too, after he had spun. Facing the wrong way of traffic down the straightaway. We're going to have just 5 laps to go when we go green. And of all the cautions that could have happened, the fact that Crafton was the one who caused it, again, he doesn't have heavy damage. It might look bad on the back bumper, but got hit well after the caution, and it was not on his own doing. As long as he nails this restart, he should be fine. He just got the wall off of turn 2 and lost control. The thing just corrected back into the wall again. Sauter hanging on to second place in the restart back there as they battle on. And Crafton himself just tries to hold on. That was our 3rd caution for incident in this entire race. It's amazing how many races in all 3 series we've had with just 2 or 3 cautions. We had 3 in a race that we had just 60 laps. Just imagine if this one was as long as the other ones. And mileage too, only 150 miles. Probably could have seen a lot more today. 4 to go. 1 second lead. Sauter, Friesen, of course, battling for second once again. But now after the restart, Grant Enfinger right behind him as well as Zane Smith. He hasn't been perfect today by any means, despite the fact he won the first 2 stages. He's been missing his marks here from time to time, just not able to get a real feel for it. With it being a shorter race and not having any practice, just that 1 lap of qualifying, I'm sure is definitely the main reason for missing his marks from time to time throughout the course of the race. Not consistently, it's just been at random times, but it's been more often than you would think. That's what caused that last caution. It's also what caused the big wreck when he got in the wall in that same spot off of turn 2. Came down into Gilliland and spun him back across the racetrack. 2-second lead, 3 laps to go now. It wasn't a perfect and clean save when he spun off of turn 2, but it was a whole heck of a lot better than what it could have been. He could have very well and very easily nosed it into the outside wall after he overcorrected it, but was luckily able to spin the car completely around and actually hit it with the side, and not very hard with the side of the race truck as well, versus if he would have hit it head on, that likely would have ended his day. Would have DNF'd and finished in 31st right ahead of Natalie Decker, who DNF'd back on lap 5. 2 laps to go. If they get to the white flag, the next flag would end the race, whether it is another yellow or the checker. So 2.5 miles for Crafton to race to the white flag and likely secure the win. Under a 4.5-second lead. Friesen is literally about maybe a truck length ahead of Friesen, or Sauter maybe a truck length ahead of Friesen. Friesen only a half second ahead of Zane Smith, and Enfinger only a couple of truck lengths behind Smith in 5th. White flag in the air, 1 lap to go now at Pocono. Matt Crafton is working his way to yet another win this season. This marks perfectly in turn 2. Use the apron very well there. 6-second lead all of a sudden now. Those guys battling hard for second, probably slowing each other down even more. And the fact that Crafton's got the fastest truck at the end of the race. Off of turn 3, one final time to the start-finish line down the Long Pine straightaway. Matt Crafton is going to win at Pocono. As we take our first race of the 2 doubleheader races at Pocono today between the Truck and Xfinity Series. What if we could pull off the sweep winning the Truck Xfinity and both Cup races tomorrow at Pocono? That'd be insane. A lot of Pocono coming up on the channel. We just did our Cup race here for Thunder 04. When was that? Was that earlier this week? On Monday or something we did that? A lot of Pocono races lately. They've been pretty entertaining so far. I mean, this is a pretty good race. Had a pretty good race earlier in the week on NASCAR Thunder 2004, so maybe we'll keep it up over the Xfinity race and both the Cup races. Take a look at the unofficial results for today's race. Matt Crafton sweeping both stages and winning the race here in just a 60-lap event. Only 48 minutes total time on the race today. Probably the shortest race I think we have maybe ever had on the channel for a full race in any of the 3 series. One that we got to the end, that is. Johnny Sauter finishes second, so Thor Motorsports will have a 1-2 finish. Stuart Friesen third, Zane Smith fourth, Grant Enfinger rounds out the top 5, so 3 Thor Motorsport trucks finish in the top 5. Followed by Chastain in 6th, Christian Eckes in 7th, Ben Rhodes 8th, Todd Gilliland in 9th, and Sheldon Creed rounds out the top 10. No lap traffic all day today would allow for 31 drivers to finish on the lead lap, and Natalie Decker was the lone driver that DNF after an engine failure on lap 5. 10th win of the season now for Matt Crafton and his team, as they have opened up a pretty wide lead in the regular season points battle. Just 3 races to go, and an 85-point lead going into Kentucky in a few days. Sauter had the fastest lap with a 54.362. Crafton led the most today, 30 of the 60 laps led. And Christian Eckes started at the rear, came up and finished in 7th. Pretty good run there. So that is going to do it for this one. Subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Again, hit the like button down below if you enjoyed the race commentary of the video in general. I'll see you guys in the next one. Again, doubleheader. Give ourselves about 10 to 20 minutes roughly, and we will get going again. It'll be the Xfinity Series at Pocono. 225 mile or 100 laps in that race. So don't wait long, but we will be back for a second race of our doubleheader. Thanks, everybody, and I'll see you in a little bit.